What up? What up? What up? It's Ibn Webb, Piranha Sum here. Official Thanks thing I got going on. Doing the Essex County all day edition here. I got the crew from multiple things they got going on here, from an off top radio to Clarity Sports Group to Driven Minds here. Love what they're doing. Just having some fun doing what they enjoy. In regards to sports and any other related topics as well too. More importantly, they from my neck of the woods as well too. So, like I said, it's a pleasure to get to meet folks that I haven't met, but also just enjoy the space we all in, where we could just do some stuff and get it out there and do our own thing here. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm just gonna pull them in. Hold tight. Peace, man. Nice to place a face for the name. So now, thanks for you guys doing this or what have you here, man. This is cool. And then, obviously this whole space, internet space and everything else here, everybody got opportunity to kind of do their own thing and have some fun and do something you enjoy doing. So I know y'all have a multitude of things going on here, and I think it's cool here. Yeah, get some conversations jumping. You get some disagreements, but that's the fun of it. That's the fun of it. Everybody's opinionated or what have you. But before we do that, though, if y'all could just state your names and what y'all got going on, if that's cool.
All right. My name June Pierre. One half of Off the Top Sports Radio. Uh, you know, I love talk sports. Been doing this. Our podcast been running almost 7 years. 7 years. This year made 7 years. So yeah, man. Love coach. Love to talk about sports. Like I said, coach. I used to be a coach, high school football coach. Also do DJing on the side. Just I got a lot of things going on, but just a few
Nah,
things.
good stuff.
Uh-huh.
And I'm Baron Lucas, the other half of Off the Top Sports. Like June said, the piggyback, 7 years in running. Love of sports. I'm the most, probably the most, what's the word I'm looking for? The most unbiased Cowboy fan you'll ever meet.
Okay, okay.
And yeah, I think that's something that's probably unique about myself. But yeah, I'm also I work in education. I'm also a referee for basketball.
Okay.
Doing the high school basketball and middle school seasons and stuff like that. So I got a couple of things that I got my hands in as well.
Nah. I think it's cool to just be in the mix. It keeps us going. It keeps us going. I mean, I know some lock things down and just tunnel vision on one thing, but it's okay to do a whole bunch of stuff here. And as you may know, like I said, this year I started probably maybe going on 3 years ago, and it was just something. It was just something cool I wanted to do as far as just connecting with. First it was like this family were having this whole COVID thing going on, and then I was just like, you know what? Yeah, I know some people or just know of people just around the way here. When I say around the way, I'm gonna just talk in particularly like Essex County or what have you, whether it's sports, whether it's business, whether it's just something folks got going on here. It was just I love being, from there and everything else. Just a little bit about I'm from Orange. I grew up in Orange,
Okay.
born and raised in Orange. I'm from Dodgetown. I grew up in Dodgetown.
Downtown.
Yeah, Dodgetown. I went to all the way up to Orange Middle, then from Orange Middle somehow my parents scraped up a couple of pennies here and sent me to Immaculate. So I wound up going to Immaculate back when. So that's a little bit about me. But uh, this is about y'all here, and I'm just curious. I know y'all talked about highlight a couple of things y'all do here, but where are y'all from? I'm just curious.
I'm from Orange too. I'm from
Okay,
Orange.
okay,
Uh, yeah, from Orange. Like I said, I played football, basketball there. Also coach under the great, you know, Hall of Famer Coach Randy Daniels. And there
mm,
for a lot of years there at Orange High School. So, that's where I'm from. The big
okay,
up.
all right, all right.
And I'm kind of split, but you'll always see me repping EO, East
Mm,
Orange. I started my early elementary years in Orange School District. That's how me and June actually met
Mhm.
way
okay,
back when, in our Orange days.
Mhm.
And then I transitioned over middle school and high school to East Orange. Went to the original East Orange High too for 2 years. Then it closed, and
all
then it
right.
became campus. So
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. That's where I'm from.
You mentioned sports, and when y'all start getting the love of sports, and when it happened with y'all, as far as early on, and what sports was it that y'all gravitated to?
When you like talking sports or playing
No,
sports?
playing, actually playing.
Playing from like middle school. It was more
Okay.
basketball for me. Then
Hmm.
when I got to high school, that's when I started playing freshman football at Orange High School. But yeah, it was more basketball. I was coach, at Orange. You got a couple of people you go through in Orange, Terry Boyd, rest in
Hmm.
peace, Magic. I used to play for Reg Miller that showed me how to shoot a basketball in the back of the projects, 108 projects. A few people I could just name. Al Thompson. If you from Orange, you know Coach Al Thompson. That I
Hmm.
who mentored me. So the love of basketball was the first thing that I loved. Then when I got into high school, it was then I gravitated to football. Then coaching under playing for Coach D, then coaching under him at the I left high school for a couple of years and coming back in college, then coaching under him. So that's when I really love football over basketball. So now
Okay.
I still love both of the sports, but yeah,
Now that's peace. What position you played as far as football?
outside backer, outside backer.
All right. So you can tackle a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, a little something, a little
Nah,
something.
nah. Good money here, man. Baron, how about you?
It started at a young age for me too. It was always football and basketball. I always had a love for both. I started playing football. I was in Savril Park one day, and I just found out he passed away today. So rest in peace, to my guy Kevin Taylor. But that was one of
Mm,
the people that actually introduced me to football when he was running the East Orange Falcons organization. And that's how I kind of like got into Pop Warner and played through all of the levels there from junior Pee Wee all the way through midget. And then eventually taking my talents to high school as well. I was a wide receiver and a defensive end. And
okay.
I played at East Orange under Coach Peanut, or as a lot of people know, Jamal Williamson. That was my coach.
Hmm.
Um, and then I played also for Greg Tons at East Orange campus.
That's right. Coach Town, when they combined, he wound up
Yeah, when they
coaching the
combined it, well,
basketballs.
first, yeah, it was Coach Hodges in East Orange, and then when they
Okay.
combined the schools, it was Greg Tons.
And then also Coach Williamson, Jamal, I think he played at East Orange, if I'm correct.
He was a quarterback at East Orange. Yep.
I know that name sounded familiar.
Yeah.
Now, how was those times for y'all? I asked Grant first since you were just talking as far as just your teams there. How were your teams back then as far as when you were playing in high school? Were you
Talent wise, I
competitive?
mean, we were solid.
Okay.
I mean, the highlight of my high school career was probably my sophomore year. We playing as a backup wide receiver. I was in the rotation, but we made it as far as to the second round, like the semifinals of the Group 3 playoffs. And we ended up losing to a good Mendham team that year. And we had got there as the eighth seed. I remember us going to the number one seed, Warren Hills. Charges back in the day, they were pretty tough. Had a lot of D1 commits and stuff like that. It was cold that night. We went up there and we pulled out a 1 point win against
Hmm.
those guys, and it was big because a backstory to that is Clifford J. Scott was also in that same bracket. So anybody know East Orange and Scott, that was kind of like an inner city rivalry. And
Hmm.
everybody was looking forward because if Scott would have won their game, it would have been a battle of East Orange the next round. But unfortunately, Scott had
Oh.
lost in their first round. And
Mm.
that's how we ended up, playing Mendham. But yeah, that's one of the highlights of my high school career.
And what's
After my
crazy,
sophomore game, we moved to campus.
you moved to campus.
It was we had rest in peace, Coach Larry Schumacher, but things didn't pan out the way we wanted it to. A lot of talent, but just not a lot of structure, and things weren't put together properly. I would say, just like anything new, it takes time. That's why the championship came years later, but um, I would say that we were able to set the foundation.
Good start. And even when they transitioned, I see they kept the EO colors when I went
They
to
kept
campus.
yeah, they kept everything. Everything was Scott except the colors. um, even the mascot, was more similar to that of East Orange, which was the East Orange Panthers. I remember we the first year at the campus, we had a whole all school vote on what we wanted our mascot to be, because originally we didn't have a mascot when the school first opened. So everybody, kind of voted, and it was overwhelming, results for the Jaguars. So that's what we go by now.
Yeah, and it's such a rich history when you talk about football in East Orange too, like decades. I mean, there's talent in and out, and I know some to make the cut due to whatever circumstances, but just throughout. I mean, you mentioned playing at Saul. As soon as you said East Orange, when you talk about Little League, I think of Oval Park. I'm thinking myself, the
Mm-hmm.
Rams and all that other stuff too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so I'm dating myself there. Like I know it's a common theme here, even with the one school here, Scott. I saw June 9 and said when he brought up Scott. So Orange and Scott, that was something. That was something else too, no matter what sport it was as well.
Yeah, it was it. I had to. It's crazy. My freshman year, and I had to experience to be in that rivalry as a freshman, and I still remember this. Still remember this game to this day. Uh, we went down to at the time, was it Paul? It's still, yeah, it was Paul Robeson Stadium, and we played Clifford J. Scott that year, and we beating them. Orange beating them by like 20 points before the half. I
Mm.
believe it was like 21-9, 28-7, or something like that. And it was hot that day. All I remember was just hot, and we just going up and down the field on Scott that day. And I'm like, man, we got this game. We got this game. This game is over. Second half started. Scott, I don't know if it was a kickoff return that was returned to the house, gave them momentum. And from there, they didn't score again, and they beat. I believe the final score was 35-28. They beat
Yep.
us, and
Yep.
I'm like, wow. And
Yep.
that year, we had so many great players, man, on that team. Bree Jones, Califani Allen, who's now the head coach of Orange High School
Mm.
right now. Big Cat Jay Alford, who, as you know,
Yeah.
played for the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
So many great players. Corey Board
Mm-hmm.
was a young sophomore on that team. So it was just like we were just surprised. We was the favorites. We were supposed to beat them. And they actually beat us. That was the last time we played Scott, because now they transition. I think B, if I'm right, if I'm not mistakenly right, if y'all transition after my freshman year or
After our sophomore year,
sophomore year. 'Cause
but that sophomore year we didn't play.
we didn't play, yeah, because Scott didn't
Okay.
play March again. I think they changed the conferences, or Scott went to a different division or something like
Yeah.
that. But that was my experience with that rivalry. But when I listened to talk to the old heads about the basketball games,
Mm.
they told me, man, if you was not there early, you was not getting in the gym. The lines
Yeah.
was wrapped around the corner for those games.
Mm-hmm.
We just had Greg Towns on our show a couple months ago, and he was just telling us stories about those games, against Scott. And he was like, man, those Essex County games was something serious, man.
Yeah, saying that tickets used to go on sale like the day before.
Yeah,
And if
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
it sold out, once it sold out, like that was it.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't no paying at the door, none of that.
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy.
Not none of that. And I just remember being in middle school, Orange Middle, obviously right next door to the high school. So those
Yeah.
those games was like 4 o'clock. So forget about it as far as even trying to get up in there if you wasn't there at a certain time. Then it was serious. It's always been serious here. Question to you guys, and part me to being the old head here on this one. Like, when did the conferences wind up changing to where it's just primarily you're playing your neighbors now? Did that happen during your time here, as far as it's like the Super Essex conferences and all that? Because again, back when it was you playing other county teams from
Yeah.
other counties or what have you.
Yeah, it's funny because the actual we used to want that type of situation when we were younger. When we in our playing days, we were hoping to be able to have the opportunity to play in like a Super Essex County
Mm-hmm.
type of division and stuff like that. But I was playing in the Iron Hills, so all the teams that I was playing was in Morris County. When you
Mm-hmm.
talk about Morristown, I think the only Essex County team that we played when I was in high school was Seton Hall and Columbia.
Mhm.
Never got the chance to play like, Montclair or anybody like that, like they do now. And actually East Orange and Orange are about to play this year for the first time since that day that June was talking about. 23 years has
Wow.
been.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's been a long time coming. There have been times where I know I'm familiar with Coach Randy Daniels too, and I used to be like, hey man, put us on the schedule, and he would be like, nah, y'all Group 5 school, we ain't doing
Yeah,
that,
group two. We was group
yeah, yeah,
two. We only have like we graduating 200 strong. Y'all
yeah,
graduating 5.
yeah,
Nah, Coach D was
Yeah.
not with it. He was
he
not.
wasn't having it, not under his watch, but so there's it's gonna be a lot of excitement as far as that matchup in a couple weeks. I think it's about 3 more weeks till they play.
September 20th. Yeah.
September 27th. So,
Mhm.
And they
it's a
playing
lot.
where they was the
They're
game
going
at?
to be playing at Bell Stadium.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's going to be at
Okay.
Bell. So,
Mhm.
yeah,
Uh,
Y'all plan on being there?
oh,
definitely plan to be there.
of course.
I wouldn't
I'm hosting
have it no other
I'm
way.
actually, Ev, I'm hosting an alumni tailgate that day.
Okay.
Homecoming alumni tailgate. We've been doing the past couple of years. Me and a couple of people from Orange, and a couple of classes from Orange got together, and we was like, let's start doing this. It's gonna be our 6th year doing it. So and it's homecoming. Orange and East Orange game. Orange made it the homecoming game. So,
Mhm.
yeah. So I'll definitely be in the building for that. Can't miss that one.
Now, and it's interesting y'all bringing up these games now. This off top, I know you said y'all got some years in. Like, what was the brainchild behind this when y'all jump started this? I'm just curious.
Uh, like I mentioned, man, it started 7 years ago. Uh, actually, I used to do a show on like a Facebook Live show called June's Monday Quarterback, talking about NFL games. And this guy that I know sent me a flyer, and he was like, "Yo, this radio station are looking for sports podcasters, to do shows on there." And I'm like, you know what? Let me contact them and see if they are interested in me joining them. And I contacted them. The lady hit me back in like 10 minutes. Shout out to Tiffany Barker. And she was like, come down to the radio station and meet the owner of the radio station. Well, still is Zay, and shout out to Zay too. And we linked up, and he was like, "Wait, let's start Monday." And you know, at first it was just me and this young lady. Then it was like, look for another host, another person. The first person I could think of, my guy right there, D.
Okay.
But the thing was, the show was early afternoons on Monday, like 12 noon on Monday. And as B mentioned, B worked in the schools. So B was like, that time not gonna work for me. So I had to look for somebody else. The guy that they had partner up with me, he only showed up for one show. One show. I'm like, yeah. So we had to get rid of him. Then, the young lady Sarah, she good, a great co-host. She out in Montana now doing her thing as a journalist, a sports journalist out there. And then my guy Mark came along. And we just started the trio, started going on every Monday afternoon from 12 to 2 p.m. Then then 2018 we switched to the evenings on Tuesdays. So
Okay.
now my guy Mark couldn't do it no more, and Sarah, went her way. So now it's just me. So I hit B up. I'm like, you know what? Let me hit B up again. Then that's when B came. B was like, nah, I could do 6 in the evening. That's
Mhm.
more fitting for me. And it's been history ever since with B, man. And B could tell you the rest. Been history, man. It's going on, like I mentioned, 7 years doing the podcast. We talk NFL, college, and the high school. We really didn't talk high school the first 2-3 years doing the show.
Okay.
Then then we just, like 4 years ago, like 4 years ago, me and B started getting to the high school, and we saw the following that we was getting from it. And we like,
That nostalgia is crazy, as y'all know.
And I'm like, yo, B, we need to like keep talking about this. So we started the past couple of years, we start putting top 10 rankings out there. We also do Essex County Player of the Year. Because Eb, you remember back in the days before they went to the Super Essex Conference, we used to run to the Star Ledger. At the time, it was only 25 cents at the time during the week, 25, 35 cents the most. And we used to run to the paper to look at the Essex County top 10. What's the new rankings? Who the Essex County Player of the Year? But ever since they went to this Super Essex Conference, they kind of went away with that in the Star Ledger. Now the Star Ledger is $2. Nobody, especially with the technology we have today, nobody buying no newspaper anymore. Everything is on the phone.
Far between, yeah.
Yeah. And now if you want to look at it on the phone, they asking you to pay a subscription for the year for like I believe it's $100 for the subscription. You could pay monthly. But so what we did, we was like, you know what? Let's give the people what they want. We're gonna give it out for free on our own network. We're gonna give out the top 10 rankings. Today I just put out the schedule for this weekend. For Essex County, all Essex County teams. Like I just mentioned, shout out to my brother Jeff. He sponsored our Clarity Sports Group Player of the Week for Essex County. So once we started doing that the past couple of years, the following has been crazy, man. People have been gravitating to Off the Top Sports, man, and it's been history ever since, man. We just keep going with it.
That top 10, is it just football or do other sports?
It's just football, just football. We try to basketball is hard to keep up with, because it's every other night. And so we try to get into it, but it's just like it's hard to do the top 10 ranking for that, man, and just trying to keep up with it on a daily basis.
Yeah, we do talk about as far as the basketball season, we do mention like the top marquee matchups within the county. So if you got, two hot teams that's playing each other or a rivalry game, we will make mention to that. And, also, tell people, alumni or whatever, if you want to pull up to the game, make sure you go support, the young student athletes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
No, good stuff, Fid. I just want to ask, because I'm nosy right now, like, how do y'all decide this top 10? I mean, do y'all got folks at games? I mean, you getting information from people? I mean, I don't know if it's a secret sauce that you just ain't gonna say anything about, but I'm just curious. How does top 10 come about each week? Because
Well, we do.
It's a task.
Yeah, it is a task. And, for the most part, both of us, our ears are still to the streets as far as who has what type of talent. We do attend games. I know I've gone to some games around the county. And we also have another one of our sponsors, shout out to DM Don Massey, who's one of the assistant coaches on West Orange High School football staff. He's also somebody that keeps us tapped in with what's going around, or as far as what's going around in the county, what teams are looking good, loading up, and what they have coming back. If they senior heavy, he gives us a lot of information in regards to that too for the games that we can't make it to. There are other sites around on social media like NJ. Shout out to NJ Gridiron. They're really good. They're supportive of a supporter of us as well. And they might post some rankings, and we do a little feedback or a little piggybacking off of them. And like I said, and that's for the games that we can't make it to, because Essex County is so big, it's impossible to make it to all the games.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I also have a friend that's on the Glen Ridge coaching staff now. He's been keeping me abreast with what's going on in the county too. So we have our sources and our formula for putting the list together.
Okay. And even with that, I mean, again, you got the big parochials, the A's, and then I mean all the way down to the group ones, and and I know sometimes the battle comes, a win is a win, regardless of who they play if they're undefeated. So I know probably for the last couple of years, you probably I know Caldwell had a run, as far as had a run in regards to being undefeated and the streak that they had. So even with them being more of a smaller school, but you got the bigger schools that do play the other, like What ensues, I don't know if y'all come to blows, y'all taking time out and stop talking to each other because y'all disagree. But like, how y'all work everything out? Because I know that's tough.
AB, tell them about the Monday morning chats, man.
Yeah, it's a chat, it's a group chat that we have, but I mean, there have been plenty of times where we've been going back and forth as far as like who to pick, what order. It's not an easy task, and you always want to be fair to the programs. We're not really worried about the backlash because at the end of the day, you want people talking about you. You want the people to, have something to say. But and everybody just not you're gonna have people that like your list, and then you're gonna have people that disagree. A lot of it is bias intent, of course, because they feel like, oh well, I coach here, so I know my kids are good, that type situation. But that's not what the tape say. But yeah, I mean, we respect each other's opinion. Me and June was on our show on our podcast not too long ago, and we always talk about like, yo, me and this dude never even had an argument. Like, if he say something and I disagree with, I'll be like, I don't know, but you know what? Let's see if it works.
Okay.
And vice versa. We definitely just have this a high level of respect for each other's opinion. I know he's been around the game for a while, and he respects my prowess as well. So it's just like, all right, when we ain't got to argue back and forth about it. Like, all right, I'm gonna disagree with you this time, but y'all go ahead and make y'all list. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or, keep it the order that you had it, and we'll rock with it for this week, and then whatever changes, then it changes as throughout the weeks.
So my question would team with a losing record, being ranked higher than a team that's undefeated.
We've seen that with the Star Legend, like and NJ Gridiron. That's another site that I just talked about. Like they have their sites too, where I'll give you an example. Last year we caught a lot of heat because we kept Seton Hall Prep. We kept them in very high top 3. And everybody was talking about, yo, they lose. But one of the things that we had to recognize was that the schedule that they was playing was a gauntlet of a schedule, and it was a schedule that probably no other team in Essex County could have played and been successful in. So, even though, and a lot of the games that they lost were out of state games. So we were like, they had like 2 or 3 games out of state that they lost to out of state opponents. So we like, listen, we understand that they lost, but they lost to a team in Florida, a powerhouse in Florida. They lost to, they played a team from Tennessee, like. But in Jersey, they gonna kick up, and that was something that had came to fruition when they played a couple teams last year that they ended up beating.
I think they beat Irvington.
I think they beat Irvington.
Yeah.
They ended up beating St. Joe's
in the playoffs.
In the playoffs. Yeah. So it was just like, yo, I know y'all see their record 2-4, but I guarantee you, your 6-0 team can't touch them. So and that we took a lot of heat because of that, but at the end of the day, it's just about the eye test. Like if you line up any other team, and we saw it with the top, even the top public school in Essex County was Irvington
at the time. Yeah,
at the time they gave them hands and feet. So it was just like, all right, y'all saying Irvington should be at top because they have the better record, but when they play head to head, you couldn't tell who had the better record. You understand what I'm saying? So, that's one of those things that we go back and forth with. But that's we got to when we make these decisions, we definitely stand firm and we think them through. It takes it's days and weeks that go into this thing.
And I think sometimes people don't understand that behind the scenes stuff that goes on, the conversations and everything else that goes into before those rankings go up. Sometimes they might think you just woke up that morning and slapped up the rankings.
And we definitely trying to do the list the right way. No bias. We don't care if our friends coach there or whatever the case, because I do have friends that are in the coaching realm, and I'm just like, yo, dude, like, I've got side texts, and I'm like, I mean, like
the messages that I get every
June
I'm the one that posted. And especially after this ranking, where some people believe that it was some teams that should have been on the list. Yes, and I got on there and told them like, yes, they do belong on the list, but they didn't play this week. If they win in week 1, of course they're gonna jump right on that list because we know what those teams are like. Shabazz and Carwell was the 2 teams that everybody was making an uproar about this week.
Mm-hmm.
And like I had a couple of, like B just said, we get a couple of texts and phone calls. I'm like, Coach, you're gonna be up there, trust me.
Right.
But one of the coaches was like, I'm gonna just use it as motivation. I'm like, hey, go take it out on tonight. So it is what it is. But like B said, man, we love the uproar, man. We like everybody just commenting like that. Like I just mentioned, like this was the post that I post this week, the rankings. That was the most likes and most shares we got since doing it. Since we started doing it 3 years ago. So,
and even also now that the world that we live in, not even coaches, but the players see things, but the parents and everything else here. And sometimes the wins and losses dictated. It's crazy to sound, pulling their kid out. Hey, this school is not, I don't know, this is the school for him, or whatever the case may be, whatever rationale some people want to use here, have you, it's just where we're at right now as far as the life for transfers and getting up and bouncing somewhere just because the situation is a little muddy at the moment here. I mean, I don't know if any of that ever crossed your mind or something come across your table in regards to, hey, this is determine sometimes if my kid gonna stay or go. I'm trying to get kids to stay here. I want to not only stay but stay on the team. So I mean, any of those side convos, any of that. I mean, you don't got to go into detail, but any stuff came up like that as far as school wise.
Not on my end, but I mean,
Okay.
we just talked about, you know, one of our friends and he's the head coach at Orange. How he lost 3 players like a month ago. I mean, right before a big matchup with West Orange. And the game resulted in the way that it resulted in the 48-0 victory for West Orange. But it's just tough. We know that's tough for coaches, man. Just trying to keep players. You always got the non-publics in your ear trying to take your talent, and you're doing the best that you can as a coach to try to keep your players grounded and just letting them know that you don't have to actually leave to not only get a good education, but play varsity football at a high level. And it's a battle that sometimes you might win, but lately a lot of these coaches have been losing that very battle. So yeah, we understand the sensitivity that goes into that. But it's tough.
Yeah, man. It's a new day, man. These kids are different, man, nowadays. Like I couldn't never like fathom that like I'll go play for East Orange. I'm going to transfer because I grew up loving orange. I wanted to wear that orange and black jersey. It was I didn't want to go to East Orange or West Orange. No disrespect to those programs, but as a young kid, like growing up in orange, you always wanted to wear that orange and black. And you'll agree with me. It was like these kids are different, man. If they start if the kids are losing, they not the next year they're going to another school. They don't want to stick out with
I
that.
call it the LeBron effect, man.
You said the LeBron effect.
That's what I call it, man. I feel like it's the LeBron
bad.
effect.
It is bad, man. It is bad, man. It's just not happening. Like B just mentioned, Orange, it's happening everywhere where these kids are just transferring. They don't want to stick it out, man. They so it's bad, man.
And then you player of the week or player of the year. How do y'all do that?
It's usually according to just outstanding performances, stat wise. Um, we try to be balanced far as not always picking an offensive player or always picking a quarterback or always picking a receiver. We try to do our due diligence and make it even, offense, defense. Sometimes these defensive performances you just can't deny. There was one game where a player had like 20 tackles and 2 sacks. So we like, yeah, we gotta give it to him. He balled out, like you know what I mean. To show that type of love because we know that everything is just so catered to offense. We try to show the defensive players a little more love too. But yeah, it just usually goes into somebody that or a couple players that went crazy. We'll single out maybe 3 or 4 performances and Then we start to break it down according to, all right, let's see who they did this against. Like, did they do this against some good talent, or did they
Yeah.
do this against,
Okay.
some yum-yums?
Yeah.
And that's something that we're able to break down as a committee. And we make the decision, finalize our decision, and all comes, sometimes we disagree with that too sometimes. It's very, very tough to make these decisions as far as like who gets it, because you really will have players that don't get up two players that same week that like did work against good teams. Like that's where it really, really, really becomes hard. So now and then we be like, all right, well, they went on the road and did it. Like, this guy was home. Like it comes to like certain like the smallest things could give a player the edge. So that it's fun doing those those player of the week things too. Go ahead, John. I know you want
And
to say
the excitement about it too, when you have the coaches now on Sunday, after all the games are done by Sunday, they start sending you they players and saying, look, my player did this. He should be a nominee for player of the week. And I'm like, dang, coach, all right, thank you for the stat. But now when they start sending you that, all right, everybody watching, everybody's paying attention. We got the streets now.
That's right.
Yeah. So that's the beauty about doing this the past couple of years, giving out these awards, because now you have players and coaches are sending you their stats. Like, look, Joan, I did this week. I should be up there for that award. So that's the beauty about it, though, of doing it.
And I'm gonna ask you with that. So you mentioned sending stats here. What if you guys got slid over, like a huddle link or two of some linemen here, because they play on the field as well too, and they just had like a dominant game where, you give a lineman any consideration. Again, I just just curious here.
Oh man, you see, offensive lineman, that is it
I'm
was.
just saying, if you got slid some footage though. I mean, I know you probably can't
You
do it
will
off the whim,
definitely
but
try to look into it and give him an award, because when we do these awards and these rankings, we trying to share the love. We just don't want to stick with the 4 or 5 dominant teams. We try to spread the love everywhere, and that's what we did with the top 10 rankings this week. We added like a team that you probably won't see on the top 10. Again, Livingston, because they never touch our top 10, but we trying to get out there to those people to let them know that we see what y'all doing. So of course, if it's a lineman, that had like 10, what you call it, 10 pancakes, of course we'll definitely look into that. Or then give up a sack. We'll definitely look into that for sure.
during your time doing this here, who's some of the best players y'all have seen? Like just during this window of time, this window of time. Like who anybody that sticks out as far as like, okay, he's going somewhere.
Shady Marshall was a constant out of
Yeah.
Week Way.
Mhm.
Won it 2 times for us. Yeah, he won it 2.
Yeah. We had Raiden Oliver, former quarterback for East Orange, who's now at Rutgers. It's so many, so many
Yeah.
good players.
The boy
So,
Kareem. The boy Kareem.
it's the boy Kareem, yes, from West Orange.
He had a crazy run in the playoff when they won the sectional title. He was one of the guys that stick out for me. Last year we had this kid Tahi Simmons from Week Way that had 20 tackles. That's where we talk about. We try to give it up to the defensive side of the ball too. He had 20 tackles and I believe a pick 6 to the house.
Yeah.
Again,
Luke Kazoom,
mhm,
Caldwell,
yeah,
quarterback.
mhm.
Um,
He is one of the.
he was tough. He was part of that 36 game run that they had.
Okay.
Yeah, he was part of the team that didn't
We
lose.
always go to Caldwell. Caldwell show us love off the top
Oh
sport.
yeah, but they
Yeah.
had a lot of talented guys to come out of there.
Mhm.
Like I said, Luke Kazoom stood out probably the most because um, he was a junior when we started giving out this award,
Yeah.
and
Mm.
then he followed it up with his senior year. So you're talking about somebody who went through 2 years of high school, didn't lose a game, and
That's crazy.
he was the leader behind that. So yeah,
Another
definitely Luke Kazoom for sure.
another kid
Um,
too. Anthony Drago, who played for West Texas.
Yes.
He's a senior this year, and he's a Duke commit. He's going to Duke for lacrosse. Yeah, he's another one too. I believe. Well, he had like over 100 yards receiving,
Yeah, he had 100 yards receiving. He had an interception on
yeah,
defense and a kickoff return or something like that. Something
yeah.
crazy he did. Yeah, in the game. So definitely him. Just to name a few.
Just a lot of players, a lot of good talent. Just got it for sure.
And man, I'm gonna ask you this again. If you could take your unbiased hat off. East Orange Clifton. East Orange won that game?
Oh yeah, they won the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. When I go to the school, the trophy is there.
Yeah, yeah.
So they had to win the game, But I was there live. I know what you're talking about a few years back with the championship game, one of the most controversial and talked about calls probably in New Jersey state history, man. And
Oh, definitely, definitely.
yeah, I was just on the side of, I just feel like I know what it feels like. I've been Clifton many times where the call doesn't go our way. So, this time it was just like, all right, the call went our way this time. I'm taking it. You know what I'm saying? Because they would have took it. I just got to take it and run with it. Like, we're just so used to, and unfortunately, just being urban community schools, public schools, like we never really get the whistle. So, the fact that that happened that day, I personally think that, the officials did a try to do the best job that they could with the new technology or whatever that they were using that they had. I don't know if he was definitively in, but of course, Clifton fans are gonna believe one thing. I saw a whole bunch of linemen in the end zone, but I ain't see the ball carrier, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those. It's tough. Both the game was very exciting that day. Both teams played their heart out, but I was just happy that my alma mater was able to get one. It was their first one since 2007, so I was happy about that.
And it's a bang bang play, you know what I mean? And to your
Yeah,
point, you're an official, so you get it. I mean,
yeah,
as far as your goal is to make the right call, and again, like them bang bang plays is kind
yeah,
of like, you do the best you can.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I just thought I asked because I know that still gets talked about. That definitely still
Yeah.
gets talked about.
Still, to 3 years later, they still talking about it, man. Yeah, so I know.
And then it's in June. I know just being an orange, I know it kind of yo-yoed as far as having a couple of good years, some down years, and even right now, as far as I know, y'all talked about the L, they just took the West Orange here, but you see things turning around. I know you got your man coaching too, so you definitely both y'all rooting for him.
Yeah.
What do you really think about Orange?
Yeah, I see some. They have some talent on that team. They just a young team this year. They graduated a lot of seniors last year.
Okay.
Maurice Williams, who's doing his thing in Sussex County right now. Makai Acey, who's both of those guys was first team all county players. So when you lose guys like that, you're looking at a rebuilding year. They got a sophomore at quarterback right now. Last name Lewis. I forgot the first name. Jonathan Lewis, who went to Rutgers' little brother. But he's learning. This is his first year at quarterback. He can throw the ball with the best of them. So it's you know it's gonna take probably a couple of years for Orange to get back going. Uh, you know, the thing is, it's the feeder. Where it starts, it got to start with the feeder program. And I think that's where we're struggling in Orange right now. Is with the feeder program. We don't, even though we have a Pop Warner team, Orange Bengals. They just don't have that age level, that 14U level where
Okay.
that kid is gonna move up to high school. So there is we just gotta build that program back up. I was part of the Orange Recreation Program with the Cyclones and the Hurricanes, but that kind of folded. I'm in the committee of trying to bring that back Shout out to Mike Boyd and my guy Aki May. We trying to bring that back together so we can help the high school, because that's where the they kind of like was falling off right now, because we
Okay.
don't have that feeder program in Orange.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And as you see, I mean, being around, sports, and we talk about football in particular here, how important, that feeder program is. You go to these other towns that actually do well. I'm talking about just the public schools themselves. They have those feeder programs. They run in the same system, or simplifying it to where even when they get to high school, it's the same scheme. It's the same thing. Again, a little more advanced, but they're running that stuff with these kids when they're like, 10, 11 years old.
Last year, I went down to hand out a Player of the Week award to Xavier Smith from Newark Eastside, and
Mhm.
shout out to my guy Coach Damon Harris, and that's down there doing his thing.
Yeah,
I walked in the
absolutely.
stadium and I see he have a whole program out there, from 8 years old to 14-year-old, and I'm like, wow, that's how you do it. That's how you do
Hmm.
it. It feels like, Joe, I've been working on this for 2 years, and now you see it. They just won this weekend against Plainfield, a tough game against Plainfield, 8-6, and that's why they won that game, because they building a program over there, and that's where it starts at. And people got to understand that. Like, people just be fans in the stands, and they like, why they not doing this? Why they not doing that? But they just don't know what's going on inside these programs. Because I've been there. I've been in these coaching rooms. I know what's going on. I hear it, and like when I was sitting there Friday night, and you just hear the fans, it's just like, y'all don't know the half. Y'all just being coaches in the stands, and there's a lot of them. There's a
Hmm.
lot of coaches.
Yes.
But y'all just don't understand what that man going through. So it's the little things, man. But like I just mentioned, North Eastside Caldwell. Uh, y'all want to know why they went on a 32 game streak, winning streak? Because them kids been playing together since they was 8 years old. They move up every level with each other. 8 years old. My God, shout out to Tyson, who's the principal at Irvington right now. He told me that story. He was like, because he was coaching at Caldwell College, and he was like, yo, June, them kids are successful out there because they play together since they was 8 years old. Now they're in high school. They don't have no choice but to win 3 state championships back to back. So programs, you got to build the program. You got to have a feeder program.
And then even with the feeder programs, it's the resources, it's the money behind it. And I mean, we talk about the Norks, the Irvingtons,
Mhm.
Oranges. Sometimes I think people don't even realize what a kid got to go through just to even make it to school. Like
Mhm.
school sometimes is the easy part. Just
Yeah,
getting out the crib and making it to actually to school here, and then actually to play and to perform with some of those other pressures they got going on outside of school as well. I mean, some people they don't even keep that in mind as well too. So there's a lot of dynamics when tied into it.
yeah, definitely. Definitely.
School on the rise. I mean, you mentioned Livingston, but what's the school that you can see whether it's this year or next? Actually, mentioned East Side. I mean, that's probably maybe one of the answers. But as far as any other schools that you see in regards, like we got to keep an eye out for them the next couple of years. I can see them coming up.
North East Side, North Central. Shout out to Coach Mark, over there. He have a full star player in Josiah Reed at safety. The kid Herman, Gurman. Uh, he's an exciting player to watch. So watch out for North Central. Um, who another team that I could think of on top of my head right now. Who else? Who else? Cedar Grove, that's a top program. They've been up there, but a lot of people
Hmm.
not talking about them. But they got this kid, Stephen Paradisio, probably the best quarterback in the county. Uh, and we'll see where they at this week when they play Weekway at home. So that's going to be a good challenge for them tomorrow night. Cedar Grove's probably one of the teams that's going to be on the top of our rankings the next couple of weeks to come. Who else? I'm the two like North, East Side, and Central.
Okay.
From like them the ones that you need to like the sneaky teams that you need to watch out for.
Okay.
And
Grant, who you think?
I think I piggyback. Yeah, I think it's those the same too. When you say on the rise, I think it's East Side, Newark East Side, and Central would be the two
Okay.
teams. Yeah.
Verona too. Verona has some couple of down years the past couple of
Yeah, I
years.
think Verona will be back to what they used to be.
Shout out to
They
Coach
got a
Ron.
new coaching staff over there. Shout out to Coach Singh.
Yeah.
And I think that's another, sleeper team in the county as well.
Okay. Cool. I'm if I could put you guys on the spot a little bit here, it'd be some current stuff and even be back in your heyday as well. Random things I'm just gonna throw out and let's see how y'all respond to that. That's cool.
Yeah, all right, let's go. Let's do it.
All right, cool. So obviously y'all in Jersey here, y'all prefer the Turnpike or the Parkway?
Turnpike.
Parkway.
I hate the Parkway.
Parkway.
Oh, so we got odds there here. Were y'all around Action Park was here? I wasn't around. I'm dating myself with Action Park. But
Wait, say it again.
Say it again. You was breaking up.
Oh, Action Park. Were y'all around when Action Park was here?
I was.
Okay, Great Adventure Action Park.
Oh, Great Adventure.
Great Adventures, yeah. Great
All right.
Man, they had a special with Action Park, man. People was dying there. I remember, I never went, but I remember seeing the commercials for it. That was like one of the most, it was the biggest scam ever.
Yeah, it's a documentary that's crazy too. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I seen it. It was on Netflix. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Park, yo. I forgot about Action Park.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Block Party or the Club?
Say who?
Block Party or the Club, as far as we prefer to go. To a block party or the club?
The block party.
Block party.
Yeah.
Block. Used to be the club for me, block party, though.
I take the block party.
All right. More current and actually to be doing the best high school football coach that you know.
Best high school football coach that I know personally.
Oh no, how you want to define personally or just being involved as far as what you do?
I probably would have to go Greg Olson. Wayne Hills won 55 straight games at one point. Crazy amount of talent that came out of that college, including his own son, who might be, depends on how things go, a potential NFL Hall of Fame tight end. So I would definitely go Greg Olson from Wayne Hills.
Okay. How about you, John? You're on mute too.
My bad. Yeah, that was a good one, B. Greg Olson. But might have to go Don Bosco coach too. Brian too.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna narrow this down. I'm gonna narrow that question down. In Essex County, best coach in Essex County, football coach.
Coach Grant. Coach Darnell Grant. Yeah.
And why I agree with B, because he did it on all levels. When you talk about doing that at Irvington, what at the time I believe was Group 3, Group 4 at the time, then going down in Shabazz,
right,
and winning a sectional title there, then going to West Orange, where a lot of people, West Orange at that time, they was not accepting brothers up there,
right.
For him to go up there and win a sectional title, man, put him in GOAT status, man, legendary status. He don't like hearing that when we tell him like, yo, you a GOAT, you a legend, but
very humble guy.
Very humble, yeah, definitely. But yeah, he's one of the ones, man, in the county for sure. I could name a few more. Ken Trimmer, from Carwell. He had his years, doing his thing there. Who else? I'm not trying to be biased and say Coach Randy Daniels, but he definitely one of them guys. What's my guy that's in Barringer right now?
Ron Lee?
Not Ron Lee. Ron Lee in West Side right now.
Okay.
McCombs. McCombs.
Okay.
Yeah, he's in Barringer, but he had his years in
He's
Shabazz.
at Shabazz too, right?
Yeah, his years at Shabazz. So a legendary coach right there. So it's just a few guys, man. And weak weight coach right now, Brian Logan,
Oh
man.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Logan. Can't forget about
Brian
Logan.
Logan.
Yeah,
Yep.
what he did
Coach
at
Logan.
West Side, winning the championship at West Side, then going to weak weight and started a dynasty over there in weak weight, man. So can't forget about Coach Logan, man. So those are some of the guys I could definitely say are legendary coaches.
So I'm gonna take. I know June used that Orange, so you could use Orange, and I know Baron, you split it up. I ended up at East Orange campus. Best football player you ever seen at the high school level at Orange and also at East Orange separately.
Um, the
You
best
just your opinion. Best
that
football
I've
player.
seen, that I played with, or that I've seen.
I just say ever. We could just say ever. Yeah, I mean, it don't even have to be somebody that you played with.
Um, I like to go with players that I've actually seen with my own eyes. I know that there are some legends out there, that was before my time. But honestly, the best player I've seen, I'm probably going to go Alex Wilson.
Okay.
Two-way player, could play receiver, running back, was a corner. Very, he was small in stature when we was in high school, but he hit like an ox. I had the opportunity to go up against him in practice, and I thought I was bracing myself for a different type of hit, and he laced me with a different type of hit. I was like, oh, okay, I got to bring it next time. But yeah, definitely Alex Wilson, man, just super, super talented, a one-man show, kick return, punt return. I've never seen a talent in high school quite like him, in East Orange.
East Orange. Yeah.
That was a good pick.
You gave enough time for June to think, so
that was a good pick. But when this dude come out, B gonna get some phone calls. He's gonna get some phone calls. Because some of his close friends gonna call him definitely for sure.
Probably my quarterback gonna call me. I know for sure.
Yeah, of course. That's why I say he's gonna be the first one to call you. For me, man, Corey Boyd, man. That dude was different. B been in a couple of his games. Dude was different, man, from the running back position. Man, I seen him put some crazy numbers up, scoring 4 touchdowns, in playoff games against Caldwell. Coming off a suspension and playing West Orange and running over 300 yards in that game, man. Corey was different, man, on the basketball court and football court. That was the amazing thing about him, man. He did it both ways, man, and he had to be. Of course, a lot of people will mention him, but that, with my eyes, that's who the best player I've seen play. Man, there's a lot of talent that came through Orange. A lot. I could just name a few, but man, Corey was different, man.
Yeah,
Now,
and that was cool. I had Corey on it. I actually had a chance to talk to Corey, so
Okay, nice.
That's interesting you saying.
and I named somebody that actually wore the Jaguar uniform. But if I could go on. If you talking about somebody that's from East Orange, I would
I think
have
I
to
know
go
where you're going with
Jabril
this.
Peppers, man.
I thought you was gonna say him initially. I thought you
Yeah,
was
boy,
gonna say.
he went to Bosco and Paramus Catholic, but as far as being from the city, somebody that's from the city that I seen with my own eyes, man, he was a man amongst boys. 4 straight, 4 high school, championship titles in a row. 2 with Bosco and then 2 with Paramus Catholic. I'll never forget that game against that championship game against St. Peter's where he ran for like 328 or something like that, something crazy and he only had about maybe 15, 16 carries, which is unbelievable. Yeah, just super, super talented on both sides of the ball. You're talking about somebody where, T.O. used to say, get your popcorn ready. I remember seeing him, getting ready to take a kickoff and the whole stadium stood up because that's just before the kick even got off. They're like, "Oh, Jabril's back there." Everybody stood up in the, where they were in the stands, and it was just crazy about 4,000 or 5,000 people, because they just knew that this dude was electric, man. So definitely Jabril Peppers.
Mm-hmm. Nah, like I said, I thought you might have said him before.
Yeah, Jabril Peppers, Rasul Douglas. Shout out to Sue.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? He another one that wore the Jaguar uniform now.
Mm-hmm. Sean, you was gonna say something?
Now that Paramus, piggyback what you said, that Paramus team was stacked. Oh, Rashawn Gary was on that team too.
Yeah.
Mistakenly, like Rashawn Gary, it was just a couple of dudes on that team, man. When you talk about NFL guys that's playing on Sundays now. So remember that game though that you was talking about. Definitely.
Now let me ask, what's next for off top here? Which I got in store? Because I'm sure, I mean, this has been great, and I get a kick out of just seeing got a chance to hear some of the show, but again, I know the top 10 is what keep a lot of people buzzing, but I'm sure I got some stuff cooking, or as far as if you care to share, like what's next for y'all.
Well, I mean, as far as, we're gonna keep the content coming, of course. We're starting to do more events, trying to tap in more to our nonprofit side, giving back to the community. It's a flyer being created, but we are planning to do one of the many watch parties that we do. We do one once a month. So we're gonna do on September 26th, the watch party for Giants versus Cowboys at SoCo Bar and Grill in Orange, New Jersey, 501. That's 501 Central Avenue. We still just as far as the actual event, just me and June are gonna meet with the owners and who's a proud sponsor of ours as well, and just try to see if we get some some menu specials and stuff for that night to make it special for the crowd. But that's something that we're gonna be doing. June, you was about to say something?
No, I was just gonna say piggyback on that. I'm a Giants fan, he's a Cowboys fan, so it was only right to
That we started off, yeah.
Yeah, and we want to give back, like we say, we do have sponsors that sponsor our show. So that's one of the things we want to do, our sponsors support us, and so it's only right to go back to the establishment and give back. So that's one of the things we're gonna do, like take a lot more tours around certain like bars and stuff like that, to do live shows there too. That's what we started doing last year at certain spots, doing live shows. So that's one of the things we want to do more this year. So with football around the corner, like this way we get a lot of people start following our what we doing.
Sure.
Football season, just get everybody riled up. And when you're talking about NFL, college, and high school, it just everybody riled up.
More collaborations like this one, and because it's just helping everybody build. So
yeah.
No, most definitely. Yeah. Can I ask about the nonprofit as far as what's the mission, what's all the focus of the nonprofit?
Well, the focus is going to be to give some form of scholarship money to a student athlete from each of our alma maters, one from Orange, one from East Orange. Eventually, we will spread the wealth throughout the county, but we definitely want to start at home first. So that's something that we're going to be doing some different events and stuff like that to work towards achieving that goal.
Okay. Nah, and I think that's great. And I think the other thing too that I always like to just tell people, outside of me doing this is some other stuff that I do, but I just think June years ago, as far as you talk about how this jump started and you pull a B in, and you just never know how far an idea takes you. And just look, 6-7 years later, look where y'all at. And I always like to just share that with individuals here where so you just gotta jump in, and sometimes you gotta freestyle it for a minute, until you figure it out. Even when you figure it out, you still might freestyle it a little bit. But I think it's just one of those things here. You just never know where an idea take you, and I think doing something that you love. No, you guys are no longer playing unless I don't know if y'all playing adult flag or adult tackle. I have no idea, but I wish y'all well with that.
I ain't
But yeah,
playing
but I
nothing.
say that. Yeah, but I say that to say, like, you're still involved in sports. There's
Oh,
so
yeah.
many
Yes.
ways to still stay involved in sports. And I know, like I said, outsiders, I do a lot of trainings and a lot of things sports related at schools and everything as well. Because it was important for me to still make a connection as far as with sports. And I know B talked about being official. I've been official, for high school sports for some time, football, basketball. I've done baseball, softball, etc. So just still staying involved one way or another here. And I think this is great what y'all doing here, and much success. And if it's something I can do or whatever case may be here, as far as just don't hesitate to ask. I know we know some of the same people. I mean, Essex County small, Jersey small, the world is small.
Oh, yeah.
So with that even being said, if there's anything I could do, don't hesitate. And again, just thanks for just taking my cold DM here and connecting and linking up here. This is appreciated. I just thank you for all y'all do, and like I said, and thank you for the arguments and the all caps people hit y'all with, where they disagree, because it's the fun of it. It's part of the fun of it. So keep at it, and like I said, thank you for all y'all do.
You're welcome.
Thank
man.
you. Thank you.
Thank you, and I look forward to see what's next to come as well too. So, one way or another, I know we'll connect one way or another here.
Yep.
Absolutely.
For sure.
No doubt. No, peace, fellas.
All right. Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
All right, good stuff. Good stuff. Love to just see folks doing stuff that they love, they enjoy. Have some fun with it and see where it could take them. To June and B. Thank you for all that y'all do. With the show, with the publications and everything else. And thank you, because again, it's a highlight for me. I mean, as far as just to see whether it's a top 10 and everything else you got going on here, fellas. So no, thank you, salute you. And even with that being said, I'm gonna step away. I put my hand over my heart. That means I feel you. Yeah.